Hello, this is Rob Lawton from the Piano Shop in Bath, bringing you another conversation with concert pianist Nuri Lee. In this conversation we shall address the use of the metronome. You've mentioned before that there are great benefits of using a metronome for romantic music in the early learning phase. Before we cover this aspect, could you address for us how you would use the metronome for the discipline of practicing scales?
So, where the metronome is particularly important is for scales and studies and general piano technique itself, especially for a young student. I'd probably start off, for example, like a scale. Let's say, pick a tempo. This one is 104. So if we take a scale and we play D flat major, so one note per beat. Really precise, every note exactly together. And making sure all my hand position is nice and flat in there. I just do 3 octaves and then coming down. Making sure it's very together and nice sharp fingers pointed and coming around. And then I do 2. You can stop the metronome and make it slightly faster, so then you can practice it slightly faster with the metronome, so bring the tempo up a little bit. But there's a good sort of base level to start on. 104 is a bit, it's slightly in the faster end, but if you're a young student, you probably start slower, just to build up the control of the fingers and making sure you can sort of play at any tempo with a nice even touch.
Going back to the question of using the metronome to practice more romantic pieces, could you demonstrate to us how you would apply the use of the metronome during the early phases of learning such a piece as, say, a Chopin nocturne?
Okay, yeah. So if we've got a Chopin nocturne, say the one in E flat major, and so let's try it with the metronome first, and then so that we can see then how it sounds sort of in regular time, and then we can sort of pull it apart, add rubato to create more expression. So if we start with, it's a lot of 104, but we'll start with 104. So. Sort of the neat version as such. So now we know how the tempo goes, but all these we probably want to add more time because the interval is bigger. For example, even the beginning, you might want to lean into 3, 1, 2, and now in tempo 3 and pulling and pushing the tempo, but the backbone of the pulse is still there. You can still understand it's 1, so and 1 and 1, 2, so you still get the beat of it.
Nuri, can you demonstrate to us how you might use a metronome to learn a new piece, starting slowly, then building up in speed?
So you can also use the metronome to speed up your playing or play faster. and help you play things faster as well. So you'll start off slower, at a slower tempo, where you can play all the notes, and then you can bring it up to the, bring the tempo up a little bit, and then up a little bit, and then have a target tempo. For example, let's start slower. So, for example, Mozart's Turkish March. So this is slightly slower. So that was 84, and then let's make it now 100. Okay, so that was okay. So now we can bring it up even faster. Let's say 120. Okay, and then we can bring it to 144. So let's see if you... And then I don't know how much faster, but then you can 176. Okay, I mean you won't play the piece like that, but for example, you can use the metronome to sort of guide the speed of like playing. And in general, to play faster, I'd say play lighter. That's just a little tip.
Thank you for that demonstration. Can you now show us examples of how the metronome can be used to help a student develop their ability of playing more obscure timings, such as 5/8, 9/8 or 7/8?
Mm-hmm. So with the sort of regular time thing, which is like 3, 4, 1, it's just, it's like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or just 2, like 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, or 4, 4. You can just use the metronome for that. If there's something like 5/8, there's 5 beats, so you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So just accentuate the downbeat a little bit, but then you'll get an even 5 if you follow the metronome. Same with something like 9/8. It'll be 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So again, you just accent the 1 always. Same with 7. So like 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. So again, you can use that tempo, or you can change the tempo and then do the same thing, faster or slower, but feel where the first beat is, and then you'll get a precise sort of 7 or 5 or 4, 3.
Finally, on the subject of electronic metronomes, are they just as functional as the traditional clockwork one in front of you?
I guess it's the same thing. Yeah, you just like an electronic metronome. I guess it's the same thing as sort of one of these traditional metronomes. Obviously, you can be slightly more like precise. You have the numbers here obviously go up in like different chunks, whereas you can go like 1. It goes up every 1 digit for the metronome in a digital piano or on, on an app or something. But yeah, I guess they still follow the same thing.
Let me finally add that at the piano shop we always have a small selection of traditional metronomes on display. And again, thank you, Nuri, for your insight.